As I said earlier, the topic coming up next is dreaming big. Now, let me tell you a bit about our speaker. He's an entrepreneur designer from Mexico, and he has founded a brand called Dream Big. Now, he started his career as a tennis player and then went on to compete as a triathlete for more than 5 years around the world, including the 99 Hawaii Ironman. In 2000, he started coaching tennis in Beverly Hills, and 4 years later, he was offered free airtime at a local nonprofit TV network. In 2008, where it all started, he was sitting at a friend's place, and basically he was doodling with a black marker on a piece of napkin, and a lady noticed him and said, "You should consider becoming an artist." And he took it seriously. He started trying, and after a few months, he finished his first painting. Realizing his talent, he decided to paint commercial designs and commercialize everything that he's been doing through the Dream Big brand. A lot of people, unfortunately, thought he was crazy, but look where he is today. Through his faith, determination, and he has been able to create over 10,000 designs. Let's please give it up and put our hands together for Juan de Lascurain.
Thank you very much. Thank you. How's everyone? Great, we're almost finished. It's so great to be here in Dubai. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers of Retail Me, Rupkata, Lawrence, Rohini. I know there's many more, but those are the three that I've been in touch the last few months. I know I have new friends here in this city. I met some of you. I've learned a lot about retail in this region. And I want to talk to you about 4 things briefly. Like they mentioned, my name is Juan de Lascurain. I'm from Mexico. My background was as an athlete. If you asked me 20 years ago that today I would be traveling the world, designing, painting, doing everything I do, even speaking in front of people, I would have never believed it. So I'm going to talk to you about 4 messages. Dream big, following your passion, overcoming obstacles, collaborations, and giving back and inspiring others. Can we play the video, please?
Boxing is just like life. You only get out what you put into it. But ain't nothing that you can't do if you set your mind to it. To get to certain things, especially things that are worth having. It's a process. The race is not won to the swiftest, but it's won to the one that, pretty much who's endured. If you endure it, you get to the end, you'll win.
Tell me about your song, Reach for the World. Tiger, what would you tell the youth?
When I got out of college, I came here to the NBA, but I knew I was missing something because I thought, man, this is all great. I'm doing well. I'm making a lot of money, and this is great, but I'm just not happy.
Just be ambitious and just have goals. You got to believe in yourself and know your craft.
Listen, follow the record, don't quit.
Don't give up at the first hurdle. Just go for it, really.
Hard work pays off.
Listen to your gut.
Practice. Practice always makes perfect.
Follow your dreams.
Never give up.
Be careful of advertising. Be careful of the media. Look for the truth. Do the truth research, because the truth is really where any freedom is going to come from. And the media and, politicians don't necessarily tell you the truth.
But I feel your vibes to be honest with you. I need your energy.
Whatever your hand finds to do it with all of your might.
So in 2004, I'm living in LA, living really the Hollywood life. I had a tennis academy with my brother in Beverly Hills. We were coaching tennis to a lot of celebrities, kids of celebrities. I was making very good money living on the beach, had the car of my dreams. But one day I woke up and I wasn't happy. I was like, there's more to life than just this, what I'm doing. When I was a kid, since the age of 6, 7 years old, my mom always told me, she was like, there's a purpose for you being here on earth, more than just to go make money. She always told me to never follow money. And she told me that everything was possible. So in 2004, I'm sitting at the gym on the bike. I'm exercising. There's a TV in front of me, and I'm changing the channels. And there's a number of a Spanish TV network that came up on the screen, and I wrote it down. I went home that day. My mom was visiting. And I told her, I said, hey, have you heard of this Spanish TV network? She said, no. She said, why don't you call and find out what they do? I said, Mom, it's a TV network. They do television. She said, well, give me the number. 2 days later, I walk into my apartment, and my mom is like, hey, we're having a meeting with the owner of this TV network. And I said, okay, well, good luck. She said, come with me. I went with her to this office. It was in downtown LA. The office outside was literally a fruit warehouse. Inside, they had a little set with a tapestry and a palm tree was part of the set. We sat in the office. The owner came out after 5 minutes of talking to my mom. She looked at me and she said, hey, what do you do? I said, I coach tennis. This is what I do. And he told me, he said, why don't you do a TV show here? What you saw was the beginning of what is Dream Big. First, when he told me, do a TV show, the first thing my mom told me was like, a TV show, like, I didn't study TV. But there was a little voice inside of me that told me, go ahead, do it. So I went home that night. Let me change one more. I went home that night, and I took a piece of paper, just a blank piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote down, Dream Big. I said, I'm going to start this brand. It's going to be a TV show. The brand is going to be about inspiring people to follow their dreams. We're going to promote 5 messages. Discover your talent, dream big, have faith, work hard, and give back. And then I was going to do another platform, which eventually was going to be merchandising. And the third platform was going to be a platform to give back to help other people so they could also accomplish their dreams. So I called 2 of my best friends, and I said, hey, I have a TV show. We're going to start shooting this TV show in 2 weeks. Please come to this set. And everybody told me, you're crazy. You're a tennis coach. The second thing I want to talk to you about is about overcoming obstacles. It was about 3 months that I started interviewing a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes like you saw on the TV show. But it was a non-profit network, so I started running out of money. The thing that kept me going, I think obstacles, anybody here that hasn't had an obstacle? I think obstacles happen to us every day. Whether it's in retail or in finance, in every area of our lives, we encounter obstacles. So, I always went back to that little phrase that my mom told me. It's like, don't follow just the money. If you have faith and you keep going and you see where you're going, eventually things will come to pass and things will get better. So the way I overcame obstacles at that time was to have a clear vision, have faith, have patience, perseverance, and always listen to that intuition, follow your intuition. So in 2008, by this time, I had run out of all the money I had. I had all the money invested in the TV show. Never painted before, so I'm sitting at a friend's house. There was a napkin and a black marker, and I painted that, a doodle. But I wasn't painting. But there was a lady there. She saw me and she said, hey, you're an artist. I said, no. Back then, I didn't used to be dressed like this. I dressed like what people used to tell me, like a normal person. But this lady told me, you should paint. So I went home again, and after 2 days, that phrase was in my mind, paint, paint, paint. So I went to an art store, and I realized I needed $500 to buy material. but I was running out of money. I had already given up my apartment on the beach, my fancy car. I was actually living in my brother's apartment. I had a $500 car that I had bought from my brother. So I went to Home Depot, bought a piece of wood, $3 piece of wood. I painted it white. I went to Walmart. I bought an $8.99 acrylic paint, and I painted this painting, which was my first painting. 3 months later, I kept painting every night. These were my next 4 paintings. Again, when people started finding out what I was doing, I was 36 years old. They were like, artists don't make money. You're doing a TV show for free. Now you want to be an artist? You know, doesn't make sense. But again, I had that same voice in the back of my mind of what my mom had told me. You know, never follow money. Just follow your passion, and eventually, whatever you sow produces fruit. So in 2009, I bought an iPhone, and I started doodling on the iPhone. These were literally my first doodles. Again, these were another one of my first doodles. And I started printing them on T-shirts. Everywhere, and by the time now I was dressed like this, my jeans were painted. So everywhere I went, people stopped me. They were like, hey, where did you buy your jeans? Hey, where did you buy that T-shirt? And I realized that I had this potential commercial to eventually start commercializing my brand. 2011, I go back to Mexico. After 17 years of not living in Mexico, with $200 in my pocket, I presented the vision to a rich person that I knew. I thought he was going to sponsor me. I thought he was going to let me stay in his house. He said no, so I had no place to live. This is me in 2011. Had anybody here been to Mexico? A couple people. This is Mexico City, in El Zócalo. That's a youth hostel. I knew I had to stay back home at that time. So I went to a Starbucks, I went on the internet, and I put hotels in Mexico. All the most expensive hotels came up on the screen. I was like, I have $200. So and then I put cheap hotels. And I got a youth hostel, $5 a night. I went there. That's all I had in 2011. Just one bag, my iPhone, where I was painting, and my computer, and my painted jeans. So I was staying at the youth hostel, and I was wondering, like, where should I go to meet people? So I always went to this Starbucks. This Starbucks is in a very affluent part of town in Mexico City. And I would literally sit in one of those tables. The guy here to my left, his name is Pepe, which one day looked at me, and he said, hey, you know, who are you? Like, your jeans are cool. He said, oh, I'm a designer. This is what I do. He said, can you paint a pair for me? I said, sure. So the next day he came with his literally bag, with his jeans. That was my first client in Mexico. My second client actually was a lady who manufactured notebooks, who one day talking to her, she said, you should print some notebooks with your designs. So we printed 10 notebooks, because that's all the money I had. And I'm like, when she gave the notebooks to me, I said, where am I going to sell them? I'm like, well, Starbucks. So every day I would go sit in that same table, put my notebooks on the table, and I would sit there. And every person that was sitting next to me, I would start talking to them, like, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a, engineer. What do you do? I said, I'm a designer. And I started selling the notebooks to them. That was about 3 months. Nobody in Starbucks knew that I was selling the notebooks. One day, I thought, hey, these notebooks are selling pretty well. I'm going to go to the manager. So I go to the manager. I didn't tell her that I was already selling the notebooks. But I said, hey, can we sell the notebooks on the counter? She said, no. I said, why not? She said, we're a corporate company. You have to go to the corporate office. I said, no, I mean, what's the problem? She said, well, the money cannot go on the register. So I went to the youth hostel that day, and I started thinking, okay, how am I going to convince her? So I took a box, literally made a hole on it. I put a sticker that said, 10% of the sale of this product goes to a foundation. I went back to her and I said, hey, why don't we do this and we donate 10%? The money's not going to go in the cashier. The money is going to go in this little box. And she said, oh, wow, great idea. So now, instead of me selling the notebooks on the table, I was selling the notebooks on the counter of Starbucks. Then I said, why don't we take your ugly paintings and put my paintings? I didn't tell her they were ugly. But she said, great. So those are all my paintings. So within 3 months, I had my first store and my gallery. So every day I went and I sat in the little table. And if I saw somebody go look at the art, I would get up and like, hi, do you like it? It's like, yeah, well, I'm the artist. Come sit at my table. And I literally started selling there. This is my first non-motorized delivery vehicle, which was a bike, which I would go print some of my art at the beginning. Then they stole the seat, so I had a bike without a seat. And the first, I think 6 months, I was picking up some of the art prints on the bike. Now I want to talk to you about the importance of collaborations. So I had no money, but now I was selling. I was not living anymore at the youth hostel. And I started thinking, I need to partner with big brands to start getting my name out. So I made a list of the top 50 companies in Mexico. Companies like Kleenex, which today, these are my designs in all the boxes of Kleenex. Also Kotex, helmets, beachwear, we have home decoration, cell phone accessories. Today I have over 10,000 designs, over 20 licenses, Mexico, Spain, Norway, France, in the USA. We also have the Dream Big Summer Camp. The next goal is to start opening retail shops. In Mexico, I'm already partnering with a big resort to open retail shops, and that's part of the reason that I'm here also, in this part of the world, to eventually have retail shops, have also editorial content, books that have been published. And the last thing I want to talk to you is about giving back. I think it's very important in the world we live in. There's always people that are going to need of us, not just money. I've encountered so many people that just need a word of encouragement. Sometimes we're so busy, in retail and in the world of brands, it's always like, let's sell, 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 because we have to pay, and sometimes we forget about the importance of helping others. So right now in Mexico, what I decided to do, and I'm still not a millionaire, but my brand every year has been growing, I decided to start sponsoring kids that had talent to be athletes. So I found these 2 kids. They're 10 and 11 years old. They're divers. She is second. She was ranked second nationally in Mexico. He's ranked third nationally. The government was giving them 1,000 pesos a month. 1,000 pesos is like $25, which is nothing. So I found them and I said, you know what? Part of the message of my brand is that I'm going to start sponsoring these kids. So now we've been working with them. Actually, right now they're in Canada competing. We were able to get them airplane tickets and some help. And my vision is to help them all the way till they go to the Olympics. I mean, they're very, very, very talented. Just to finish, this is a phrase that I wrote when I had literally nothing. I was living in my car, pretty much in LA, this is before I went to Mexico. And this really sums up everything I'm about and everything Dream Big is about. And it says, it doesn't matter where you come from or how much money you have. It says, if you have faith, a dream, and you work hard, you can accomplish anything. And I want to leave you with 2 questions. Are you really following your dreams? Have you ever really sat down on a piece of paper with a pen and just wrote down, hey, what's my passion? What are my dreams? And second is, what are you doing to give back? What are you doing? Like I said, you don't have to give thousands of dollars. What are you doing to just start sowing seeds that eventually will produce fruit? And then we finish with a little video.
The first time I came to Dubai 3 years ago, I was blown away by its leader's vision. But making a dream come to pass takes more than just a vision. It takes faith, courage, determination, and teamwork. You cannot look at the Burj Khalifa without knowing that people in Dubai are dreaming big and that they are making their dreams come to pass. That is why I'm excited of the opportunities and collaborations that lie ahead in this amazing part of the world.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.